So then I was already a believer that sometimes it takes a while for certain songs, certain albums, certain films, certain whatever to sink in. It takes a while to come to like them and appreciate them. But now I'm even more of a believer of that, because when I done my live reaction to this particular album, I said it was okay. Well, now the opinion's changed.
So much more than casual conversation.
So hello and yes, welcome back to another video, guys. Now this is my second time filming this because my phone is total crap. It's annoying me. It's forced me to record this twice. So this is my second time saying everything. So I apologise if I don't seem quite as enthusiastic as I should. Nevertheless, though, we are finally doing my review for Paul McCartney's Egypt Station. Long anticipated review for this album. Most anticipated album for the year for pretty much nearly everyone here in the VC. So finally I'm going to be doing a review of it. Very excited, of course. This is my third video on this album, believe it or not. I did a live reaction to it, which got some mixed feedback, you know, because I wasn't super negative on it. Some people seem to think I was. I think it's because I wasn't super positive. People thought I was being super negative. I was very neutral on the album. I was like, it's okay, it's whatever. Which got me a bit of, some people weren't too happy with the way I saw it, but I still stick by that. That was my initial reaction to the album. I wasn't that impressed. And then I done a live, not a live, I done an unboxing of the deluxe vinyl here, which we'll take a look at again at the end of the video. However, as you saw in my little intro, my opinion has changed on this. It's been a week. I wanted to wait a good bit of time to let this album sink in, because say I loved it, I didn't want to review it and make out as if this is one of Paul's best albums, because it's not. And if I was only mild or didn't like it, and I was kind of mild on it, I didn't want to review it then, because it might grow on me and I might start to appreciate songs more, which I have. So I didn't want to look back on the review and think, oh, I was way too negative. So this is the actual review. I've played this album about 10 times now, believe it or not. Every morning on the way to work and every afternoon on the way home from work, I've played this album. I've had it on in the background while I'm doing things. So I must have played this album close to 10 times now. So I am very familiar with the songs now. I've done a bit of research into this album. I watched all of the Between the Words, I think that's what Paul called it, where he talks about each song. There's not much to say on each song here, really. So yeah, I've really tried to enjoy this album more than what I did when I first heard it. And I will say I was successful in certain parts. However, I don't love this album from start to finish. So before we get started, I will say, guys, opinions are opinions. This is just my opinion here. You know, if you are enjoying this album a lot and a lot more than me, that's fantastic. It really is. I'm pleased that people are really enjoying it. It's very exciting to get a new Paul McCartney album, especially if this is your first Paul McCartney album. For me, it's my third, if you're going to include Kisses on the Bottom. But I was really big into Paul when New came out, so it's kind of, if you're not going to include Kisses, it's my second Paul album. So if it's your first Paul album, hey, enjoy it. Really enjoy it. It's great. It is a special time. There is no doubt about that. Even if you're not into the album, you cannot deny the special feelings that this album gives off, or that this man gives off, this incredible man. But yeah, so anyway, I'm going to do the usual in this review. I'm going to give a bit of information on the album. We're going to go over each track individually, mark each track individually out of 10. I'm going to show you my copy of the vinyl record. This is the deluxe one. We're going to mark the artwork for this out of 10, and we're going to add up all the scores, divide it by the total number of scores given, and that gives us an overall marking for this album out of 10. The album ranking board is still not back yet, guys. I do apologise about that. I have taken up the 2 station tracks. So, as we know, there's a track that opens up this album called Station Something. I'm covering up the track listing with my notes. And then we've got Station 2, which comes between Despite Repeated Warnings and Hunt You Down. I'm not going to include them because I do sometimes include little songs like that if there's actual musical input that's gone into them, because I feel like the artist has decided to make them a part of the album. They are little, very short mini pieces. However, there's literally no musical input gone into these, really. So the idea behind those 2 songs is quite good, actually. And if Paul had followed through with this more, I actually probably would have talked about these songs more. Each song is meant to be a stop like at a train station. However, none of the other songs reflect that. There's no like train pulling away or arriving at the start of any of the other songs. So they feel very weirdly random and out of place. They fit in with the title, Egypt Station, of course. But, you know, the fact that each song's meant to be a station, it doesn't really feel like that. They feel like they had this really unique idea and they just didn't follow through with it. So it's a very underused idea there, unfortunately, and a very wasted one. So that's unfortunate. But anyway, so before we get... No, I've already done that. Sorry, my camera paused there, so I'm a little bit off track. So we're going to start off with some information on the album. But generally, there's not much information to give on this album. So this is Paul's 18th solo album. If you're going to include Wings, it gets you to the magic 25. It was released on the 7th of September 2018. It was produced by Greg Kurstin. I've never heard of Greg Kurstin, but I have tremendous respect for him because the production on this album is absolutely fantastic. So the album has 14 songs on. All of them other than For You, Caesar's Rock, and a majority of Back in Brazil, I believe, were actually all written in the last 5-6 years between this and New. Even a couple of them were actually written around the time of New, I believe, which is quite disappointing to hear in a way, because this is the best Paul could come up with in 5 years, lyrically. Not great. However, we can't deny that the man has been busy. He's been super busy touring and all the other bits and bobs he's been up to. So, you know, we can't rag on him too much for having poor lyrics here, because I think this is the busiest Paul's ever been, which is very, very shocking for a man of his age. Anyway, the album has 14 proper tracks on. Oh, also, I'm not including the Green Band HMV exclusive 2 songs, because they're not on the actual official album. So, for the 2 bonus songs, I'm not going to talk about them either. But anyway, let's get started. So, we open up with a track called I Don't Know, which was one of the 2 singles released. This and Come On To Me, which follows this track on the album. Now, I Don't Know, it's a song that Paul wrote on a bad day, basically, and he's kind of feeling sorry for himself. And it's a nice ballad. It's a good ballad. However, this song, I didn't like it. There's 2 things I really don't like about it. It's a very poor opener. It does not open the album well. And it was a very poor single. People love it. Some people absolutely adore this song. Again, it's fine, but I just disagree because I don't think it works well as an opener. It's a poor tone for the album. It wasn't a fun single. It wasn't. It didn't get me that excited for the album. Also, it's not one of Paul's best. Paul does great ballads. This is not one of his best. Why is it not one of his best? Because the intro is way too long and pointless. The verses are very mediocre. But the choruses are catchy. I really like the choruses. They're very beautiful at times. Very nice. I love the tempo change in the verses as well. That's really cool, really unique. The production on this song is really good. It is a good song, guys. I'm not ragging on it. But it is not one of his best ballads. It's not a good opening song either. I'm going to give it a 7 because I do still enjoy it. It is a good song. The vocals are pretty good at times on it as well. Then we get Come On To Me, which of course is the other single from the album. Much better single. It's rocking. Really good. And this is Paul imagining himself back in the 60s in a club, locking eyes with a girl, you know. Which is really cool. Someone young, like myself, can relate to that, I guess, who goes to clubs and stuff. You know, it's a very relatable thing for a young person, which a lot of this album is aimed at. So I really like that. It's very good for me. I mean, again, the lyrics don't really touch on it too much. The lyrics aren't anything special. But I like the agenda of the song. And it's a nice rocker. It's simple but fun. Really great vocals for his age, I think. Really good. The guitar part is awesome. I love it. But this song does the opposite of I Don't Know. Whereas I Don't Know has too long of an intro, this song goes on too long. And also I've put in my notes in big capital letters here that this would have made a much better opening track than I Don't Know. It would have been a Save Us from New Part 2. I think that would have worked really well. For those of you who put New on and an Egypt Station back to back, it's like they both open with these fun, catchy rockers. Come On To Me would have been a much better opener. I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10 though. It's still a very good song. Then we got Happy With You, which is the first little acoustic number on the album, which I like. Paul wrote this while he was on holiday, actually. While he was thinking about the old days when he was with the Beatles or Wings, and he used to go get stoned and drink a lot. So the lyrics touch on that, and now how he's very happy being with Heather and being a lot more chilled. So very nice lyrics there. I love the echo effect on his vocals, which I didn't hear on Spotify or my CD. Only really caught on to that when I played my vinyl copy. Shows how good vinyl is. Reminds me a lot, strangely, of a Peter Gabriel song, Salisbury Hill, because of the little horns that come in at times where it goes whoop, whoop, whoop. I like that. It's cool. Reminds me of like a 70s styled song. It's a very innocent song. Some people are ragging on this one a bit too much. And I think when I had my initial reaction to it, I think I was very like, it's alright. It is what it is. I'll give it a 7 as well. It's just, it's good. It's good. It's fine. Then we get a track called Who Cares, which is also aimed at young people. This is Paul looking at people who get bullied, get called names, and it's Paul's reaction like, who cares? You shouldn't care. Don't know how you'd get that from the lyrics, to be honest. It's very hard to get that from the lyrics because the lyrics are so basic and generic. Only listening to that words between is when you figure, well, when he tells you what it's about. So yeah, there's that. It's got a strange proggy start to it, which I really like, but then they ditch it immediately for this rocking sound, which is fine. Just a very weird start to the song. And it's an okay foot tapper. I think that's the best way to describe it. It gets very repetitive. I get very, very, not bored, but I'm ready for it to end very quickly. Considering it's a shortish song, it's not great. But I'll give this song 6 out of 10. It's the weakest one so far. But don't worry, it's not going to stay the weakest one for long, because we've got But You up next. But You, Fu You, I think I was saying in the live one, whatever. For You. So I made a comment about this song saying it's very some people being very hypocritical for saying that they really enjoy it. And I've had 2 people say that they thought I was directing that to them. And I'm not directing it at any individual person. I just want to clarify that. It was directed at a large group of people who mainly listen to the classic rock bands from the 60s and 70s. And again, nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. And they say they love For You. Nothing wrong with that either. Nothing wrong with it. And then these people also say they don't like any new music. You know, nothing wrong with that really. I still always say try something before you judge it, because they haven't. Anyway, nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. It's your opinion. It's fine. Completely fine. But when people say they love For You and they love all these old classic bands, again, we're still fine. But then they hate anything new. For You has the production and the sound equivalent of a very modern song, a very new song, a song that will go in the charts. It's just you've got an old man at the vocals instead of a younger person whose vocals are still intact. We'll say that. So I find it what I meant by my comments on my live stream was I found it very hypocritical how some people say they hate all new music, they hate anything in the charts, but they love For You. It's a great song. I found that a bit hypocritical. Anyway, this is the only song on the album not produced by Greg Kurstin, and I will say, before I start ragging on this song, because I'm not a fan of it, I will say the production is great. The production is awesome. I love it. And I will also say the song has catchy moments to it, which is why I get why people like it. It's fine to like it. Just don't get the whole love it. But I hate all new music anyway. I'm not going to talk about that anymore. There are huge problems with this song. Huge problems. It doesn't sound like Paul at all. Doesn't sound like Paul at all. It feels like this is Paul's ego taking the steering wheel. Most of this song was written in the studio. You can tell. The vocals range from being okay to bad. It's appalling in terms of the lyrics. The For You, everyone got confused at first. They all thought he was saying the F word, you. I just want to you. I kind of, at the start, I didn't make a video on this song when it came out. I knew he wasn't saying that, because I just thought, Paul can't be saying this. And I see why people got confused. The song is saying, I want to do it for you. But I think Paul very well knew what he was doing. He knew people would get confused. And I think it was very arrogant of him to release the song like this. The bit where he actually sings the line "you," he does it in this high pitched thing. It just sounds. Ugh. It's not a good song, really. I don't think. It has serious problems. This song, even if you love it, you can't deny it has its problems. I'm gonna give this track a 4 out of 10. And then we move on to "Confidant," which is a song about Paul's guitars, which I actually really like the idea of this one. Paul goes on the road all the time. All his life, he's had a guitar in his hand. He's never wrote a song for his guitar. He has now, because this song is basically about him, the guitar being his confidant, where he tells this guitar everything throughout his whole life. The guitar has been there the whole time. He writes these songs about stories and moments he's had, and you know, the guitar hears it all. It's fantastic. I love the idea of it. He doesn't play off it as much as he should, which is a shame. A bit like "Come On To Me," I really like the idea behind the lyrics in that, but he doesn't play into that too well. I like the station idea on the album, but he doesn't play into that as well as he should have. Anyway, so yeah, I really do enjoy the idea of this song, is what I'll say. It's another acoustic song. Not great vocals on this one, I'm not going to lie. It gets a bit old, I find, but the acoustic guitar really saves it. It's a really nice tune. I'm going to give this song a 6 out of 10. It's alright, it's there. Then we got the track "People Want Peace," which is a song I found really hard to rate out of 10. Starts with a very catchy keyboard, which I really enjoy. I love the style that Paul sings in. It's like quick talking. I really enjoy that. The violins, the strings added over the top sound amazing. The production is fantastic, and the verses are really catchy and really good. And this song for me is like, at the minute, an 8 or a 9. I think it's actually really one of the better tracks so far. However, then we hit the chorus, where he sings "People Want Peace," and it just turns into a Ringo Starr song. And I hate it. I hate the chorus. It's so bad. I just find it like, no, Paul, you don't need to do this. We know what your opinions are. Don't do this to us. Don't do a Ringo. It works well for Ringo, don't get me wrong. That's not a dig at Ringo. It's just I wish Paul wouldn't do it. And it's a shame. The chorus really drags this song down. It really, it's like a nail put in the song. So it's pulled it down a bit for me. I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. Then we got "Hand in Hand," which is really nice because I love the fact that he done this on his dad's old piano. I really love that. That's a really nice, gives the song a nice stature over other songs here. And it was written for Nancy as well, which is nice. However, it's not one of the best songs on here either. It's a bit bland. It's a nice slow ballad. It's just an okay song. I really don't know how to talk about "Hand in Hand." I like the style Paul sings in a really low key, and his voice actually holds up very well. Unfortunately, Paul's voice not being what it once was, he struggles in certain areas, certain styles of singing. When he goes out of his comfort zone, he's gone out of his comfort zone on this one, but he's actually held it very well. So I've got to give him credit. He's done a good job on this one. "Hand in Hand's going to get a 6. Then we move on to a popular track on the album, "Dominoes," which he described this as a song being about when something's not right, you say, "Oh, this isn't right, this is wrong," but really it's a silly thing, and you're like, "No, calm down, everything is okay." And I'm not sure how you get that from the lyrics too much, I'm gonna be honest. But anyway, it's alright. It's a good song. It starts with a cool acoustic, which I like. I love how the song picks up after the first verse. The backing vocals are amazing. Like, this is Paul's best backing vocals in his solo career, potentially. If I really thought about it, I could probably come up with a couple better songs, maybe. But ever since he left the Beatles, and, you know, normally he'd have, like, Linda doing backing vocals for him, and other people, but, like, when he started doing his own backing vocals and adding them over the top of his songs, this is probably the best time he's done that on this song. Really good. I'm going to give "Dominoes" a 7 out of 10. It's a good track. Not amazing. Then we got "Back in Brazil," which is another controversial song. Now, I really enjoyed it on first listen because it surprised me. But all in all, I know this isn't a great song. And it would be hypocritical for me to say I love "For You." I don't like "For You," sorry. But love "Back in Brazil" because they're very similar styled songs, as in very modern sounding production. However, I like "Back in Brazil" a bit more because I really admire the production more on this one. the instruments, Paul's vocals, the lyrics, everything is just a bit better on this one. Paul actually did write this one when he was out in Brazil on his tour. Very simple lyrics about a Brazilian couple who are falling in love story. And I might get a lot of criticism for this, because I'm about to compare it to a classic Beatles song, which I probably shouldn't do, but I'm going to do it anyway. Close these. I'm going to compare it to Strawberry Fields Forever. Strawberry Fields, of course, had the very famous, I forget the name of the keyboard piano that they use, where it goes whoop, 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 whoop. You know what I'm on about. This kind of does this as well. The instrument used in this, Paul's introduced to by Kanye West, of all people. And he decided to bring it in on this song and use it. And it works really well. It gives this song character. It gives it something interesting about it. I do accept it's not a great song, but I enjoy it. So I'm going to give it a positive score. I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10. Then we got Do It Now, which is an expression which his dad used to say. Not the first time we've heard Paul do this. You know, put it there from Flowers in the Dirt. It's another piano song. It's very slow, very repetitive, and I'm not going to lie, this song bores me. I'm not a fan of this one. This is one of the songs which I've like the most recent times I played this album and I've come to get to know it a bit, I do skip this one. It's not bad. I know it's not bad. So I'm just going to give it a 5 out of 10. Middle of the road. Whatever song. Then we get Caesar's Rock, which is where I'm going to get a lot of jip, because I know a lot of people really enjoy this song. It's another song created in the studio. The intro I hate, because they do this weird thing, and then they immediately cut it off and go into a completely different styled song with an acoustic. The cut off is awful. There's no flow. There's nothing. I don't like it. It's a good rocker. It is good. I just really, really don't like the fact that Paul chose to sing the song in this Monkberry Moon Delight, smile away type style of singing. He can't do it today, unfortunately. He doesn't pull it off. It doesn't work well. I just don't enjoy it. I apologise. It's just not a song that I personally... I get why people do enjoy it. If you can put up with listening to those vocals, then yeah, I'm sure it is a good, fun, rocking foot tapper. But for me, I don't enjoy the vocals on this one. It's a shame for me to say it. I love Paul. He's he's top 3 musicians for me. I think he's fantastic. So for me to say I really can't stand his vocal performance on a song is hard to say, but I'm going to say it on this one. I'm going to give it a 4 out of 10. Then we get Despite Repeated Warnings. Let's just take a minute. I am so grateful for this song. This album so far has delivered some good songs, but nothing great. This is the great one. This is the saving grace of the album. This song is so good. I love the lyrics, which is amazing coming from a song on this album. I'm not saying that the lyrics are bad. I'm not saying they're bad. They're just very average. The lyrics are great on this one. They hint at so many things. When I first heard it, I was thinking, what on earth is he on about? Someone pointed out to me in my live stream it was about Donald Trump. And then I watched Paul talk about it, and he talks about global warming. And then I've heard a few other people say that they can hear like him hinting at Brexit in this. And that is what the song is. It's about him looking at a lot of very important subjects. Whether you agree with them or not, Brexit and Donald Trump were both very controversial things which affected the world. Global warming has been affecting the world for a long time. I'm a massive, supporter of that. But nevertheless, whether you agree with these things or not, the lyrics are great and they're important subjects. I think that's the best way to say it. Whether you agree with these things or not, they are important subjects and topics which need to be talked about. And Paul does it in a very, very sly way, where he's not name dropping Donald Trump, doesn't name drop Brexit, doesn't name drop global warming. It's all in this story about a sea captain who's steering the boat in the wrong direction. It's fantastic. I love it. It's great. I love that kind of stuff. I love how this song goes through different stages. The start is great. I love the effect on Paul's vocals. It's probably the best he sounds on this entire album because of that effect. When it goes into the rocking part, it's great. The horns, everything about it works really well. It's a really good song. When I first heard it, I gave it an 8 out of 10. I said it was really good. I've upped it. I'm going to go to a 9 out of 10. I think this song is really good. It's easily the standout track for me on this album. It's just great. I really enjoy it. And then we're on the last track, split into 3, kind of like a Red Rose Speedway ending to this album. We got Hunt You Down, Naked, C-Link. So I'm going to go through these songs one by one. Of course, they are one song though, so I'm going to rate all 3 together. Hunt You Down should have been its own song, without a doubt. They could have taken, you know, Do It Now, Hand in Hand, Back in Brazil, For You, to get rid of any of them. Just put Hunt You Down as its own song. It's great. It's a great rocker. I love it. The vocals are awesome. You know, it's just the horns on this song are incredible. Incredible. The production on it is fantastic. Naked is a very, very nice, catchy piece that follows. It's really nice. You know, Hunt You Down, I'm just going to say, would probably be a 9 as well, if I was to do them individually. Naked would probably be around a 7. The problem I have with Naked is the vocals are just not good on this one. I felt like he could have done a better job. And C-Link would also probably be a 7 because it's a beautiful, beautiful instrumental. I love the guitar work. It sounds very bluesy. I really like the fact that he done a little instrumental there. Paul's never very good with instrumentals, unfortunately. But I feel like he literally just let the guitar do the talking on this one, which is so good. But yeah, I'm going to give this song an 8 out of 10, all 3 of these together. So anyway, there we go. There's my opinion of Egypt Station. We're going to take a look at the vinyl in just a second. I'm just going to wrap it all up. This album, for me, goes like that. It's good, and then it's alright. It's good, and it's alright. Then there's a bad one. It's good, it's alright. It's very much like that. And then we get to the end. Wow, the last 2 songs. Wow, really good. It's not a bad album, guys. It's not. But anyway, let's take a look at my copy of the vinyl record. So this is the deluxe vinyl. So here is the cover. I want to say I adore the artwork for this album. I love this cover. I said this from day one. But I love this album cover. So I'm happy that I was right and that it hasn't gone down, in my opinion. And then here is the back. Very nice. I love all these pictures. A lot of them were drawn by Paul, apparently. Now, of course, this is a triple gatefold. It opens up like... I've never seen a record do this before. It opens up like that. So there is a spine, even though my camera's going to refuse to pick it up. So anyway, you open it up like this. And then there is the other side. So the first vinyl slides out of the cover, which is nice. There is the label. And this one's on orange vinyl. I have done a complete unboxing of this. So if you want to see it in more detail, go watch that. And then in the middle jacket, you get a little insert, which also opens up weirdly. I have a download code in here somewhere as well. I don't know where that is. That's probably going to jump out me in there. Some lyrics. And I did keep the shrink wrap just so I can keep the hype sticker. Slide that back in. Come on. And then here is the second record, which is on a blue vinyl, which I really like. So what am I going to give the artwork out of 10? I'm going to give the artwork out of 10 a 10. I think this vinyl is brilliant to look at. I love the triple gatefold. I love it. I think it's a great idea. Love the cover. I love the colours. I love this bright yellow. It's fantastic. The painting is great. I love this artwork. This is really one of the best records I've ever got packaging wise. I think it's fantastic. It's a shame they really overpriced the vinyl, the deluxe one. Yeah, it was a bit of a scam, I'm not going to lie. But anyway, it's a beautiful, beautiful vinyl. I love it. It's fantastic. So a 10 out of 10 on the packaging. So I've added up all the scores. 14 tracks, 15 for the artwork, and I've divided them by 15. And out of 10, this album is going to get a 6.6. So yeah, 6.6 out of 10. I enjoy this album, guys. It is good. It's better. It's weird. When I first heard it, it was kind of what I expected. But then I come to realise that it was better than that. I was paying pure attention to the vocals and the lyrics on first listen. I've come to appreciate the production and the style and the sound and the instruments on this album a lot more. And that's where the true gem lies in this album. Not in the vocals or lyrics. It's in the production and the amount of work Paul put in to the organising of the instruments and how these songs are going to be laid out. There's no doubt this album has its down moments. For me, this is his weakest album since Driving Rain. I do not think it's as good as new. However, there are gems that lie in this album. That's why I don't think it's a bad album. I think he's done a good job with this one. It's good enough. I enjoyed it. Nevertheless, though, I hope you guys enjoyed this review. As always, it's been a pleasure. I just want to say we're coming up on 4,000 subscribers, guys, which is absolutely incredible. And I wanted to get you guys excited by saying that I do think I am finally going to do another contest at 4,000 subscribers. So, for those of you who enjoyed my last contest, like they were over a year ago now, might be another one on the way soon. Nevertheless, I've got a lot of other cool stuff to talk about here on the channel. I've got a couple of records coming in lately. So yeah, it's going to be some good stuff coming up. Nevertheless, though, Paul McCartney's Egypt Station. This will probably be my last video on it now. I've enjoyed this album. I've enjoyed coming on YouTube and talking to you guys about this album, sharing the experience about this album. Paul, not that he's watching, but he is always one of my favourites. I love him, I love him, I love him. I think he's a fantastic musician. Always excited when a new Paul album comes out. But anyway, that is it for this review, guys. I hope you've enjoyed it. Please hit the subscribe button, like the video, leave a message, let me know what you thought of the album. And I'll see you guys next time for another video. Bye-bye.
You wanted so much more than casual conversation. I swear I